Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday, and that means Sunday Night Live. Guess what? We're 2 weeks and 2 days from Election Day, and folks, the shit has already hit the fan. It's already started. Dominion voting machines is already threatening people who want to say mean things about their system. And I don't know where that leads, but you know there is big money behind who they are and who they help. Yeah, that's it. Folks, it is Sunday Night Live. That means you guys run the show, whether you're on the preparedmind.club, our own flagship website where you can be a premium member, or subscribestar.com, another membership website where you can sign up and get premium benefits. And then, of course, the trifecta of craziness at the zoo, YouTube. We also have BitChute. We've got the BitChute and what else is out there? Rumble, everything, all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, just wild. I wanted to, before we get started, I wanted to say I met Brad down in Pinellas County, Florida. I was in a Lowe's on the weekend and recognized Brad. Brad recognized me, and he was looking at me, and he just kind of waved, and I dealt with a salesperson, and then a few seconds later, he walked on by. He goes, "Are you that guy?" I said, "No, I'm not Kevin Nash." 2 days ago, right? Last Thursday, someone thought I was Kevin Nash, World Wrestling Federation guy. I said, no, not Kevin Nash, but Brad, he knew who I was. He says, "You're that guy on YouTube. You're the Prepared Mind, John, aren't you?" Anyways, great fella, nice fella. I discovered he actually worked for a Duke Energy in Florida, and he helped get the power back on. I gave him a big, well-deserved thank you, and you guys are awesome. I tell you what, folks, we've got shit hitting the fan left and right everywhere. It's good to have good people around you on our side and working with us to make America great again. Make America a better place. Make America what it should be, the land of the free and the home of the brave. So, Brad, wherever you are out there now, Semper Fi, brother, great meeting you. We had a great little conversation. It was really good. I really had a good time with him. So let's start off this week let's do it with chin music. He steps in the house, starts the show off. It is your show, folks. Your show. That means you hit that super chat button up here, or you do Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, or a direct sponsored donation onto, well, there's PayPal. We also have the preparedmind.club. Lots of different ways to get your questions up here. But a $50 or more, there it is, super shot. Anything $50 or more buys me a 15 years single malt Scotch whiskey, French Oak Reserve. If we go through this bottle and finish it off, then guess what? I'll go get another one. Welcome to the bunker, folks. Some people got a basement like Ron and Ron's basement. Some people got a bunker. I got me one of those. Here is to you, chin music, Semper Fi, with a $52.23 super chat donation. Down the hatch, Semper Fi, God bless America. And that, my friends, is how you start off a Sunday Night Live. So, let's see what Chin wants to talk about here. Let's see. Yes. The Harry Bowles campaign. That would be the Kamala Bowles. Has become nothing more than a traveling Jerry Springer show. I have to agree. I'm going to agree with you, and it's never happened before where I agree with chin music. I'm full of shit. I know. We always see eye to eye. All of us here on the Prepared Mind channel seem to be rather synoptic, seeing eye to eye. But that's really what her campaign looks like. It's got Twinkle Toes Timmy dancing and prancing as if he is gay as, well, name your favorite homosexual. I mean, he may as well be just a flamer out there. Anyways, Jerry Springer show. And it's nothing but a freak show from town to town to town. They had some pigzilla out there saying, yeah, Kamala's going to make the rest of America just like Detroit. And we're like, why would you even say that? Why would anyone say, let's make America like Detroit? Now, I know there's good people in Detroit. I know there are good areas in Detroit, but Detroit also has just a huge, major problem or more with gangs and drugs. It's depressing. Industry is leaving. Is that what we want for the rest of the country? Well, these fucking people. Anyways, I believe Kamala was on stage for 6 minutes and 39 seconds and left. Trump does hour and a half, 2 hours or more, and she made it 6 minutes and some seconds. That was it. That was it. Out of energy, out of anything decent to say. There's nothing to say. Her campaign, folks, is collapsing. But that does not mean you and I get to sit on our laurels. We need to kick ass. You and I and Trump and Elon Musk and everybody else out there in this campaign. We are all in the campaign for freedom and liberty, folks. All of us. Campaign, freedom, liberty. Truly. It's up to us to make sure this win happens. Now, so Chin Music says, Jennifer Garner no sooner took the stage and faked an orgasm for White Dudes for Kamala. Jerry Springer freak show. Before they brought out a masculine flaggot who runs the student for Kamala and Fuzzy Balls in Michigan. He was a low-T, limp-wristed, soy-swallowing ass pirate that will never attract a single man, real man, American man, to the Democrat Party to vote. Chin says you can't spend decades denigrating masculinity and be led by angry feminists and expect any self-respecting real man to vote for you. These people really are stupid and out of touch. Get ready. They are desperate. Semper Fi, big fella, and see you soon. I'll be seeing you soon, man. Soon, soon, soon. It is coming. And he's absolutely right. This fruitcake, right? Men for Kamala, the TV commercial. If those actors weren't sausage smokers in their own personal lives, I would be shocked. But they're not real men. They're not real American men. They're not masculine men. Every one of these men for Kamala are fucking old, low-T, weak. And I mean weak. Just wow. So they bring out this fruitcake. And he was a flamer for Kamala. Really? That's what you got? That's what they've got, folks. They've got people faking orgasms, big fat people threatening to turn America into fucking Detroit. Right? They've got flaming fruitcakes. They got Tampon Tammy dancing around like the dance for the Sugar Plum Fairy. And I don't say that lightly. She can't stay on stage very long, or if she does, she appears to be drunk off her ass. I mean, folks, I do a little bit of drinking here, but I'm not running for president. And I still make sense. She doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Crazy. Folks, it's Sunday Night Live. It's your show. We've got 200 people live right this very second, and it's up to you and me. Share the internet address. Let's wake people up. Let's get them prepared. It's time to vote in 2 weeks and 2 days, unless you can vote early. Unless you can vote early. Now, thank you for the great super chat donation, Mr. Chin Music. It is now time for bump, ba-da-dum, bump, bump. Darcy T steps up with a $50 PayPal super chat donation. which is another scotch to start the show. And those two characters, folks, Darcy T and Chin Music, they like to kick the show off every week with really good super chats to make sure we keep the lights on here, we keep the message going out, and we do all we can to save America and get Americans ready for the hard times that are coming. Now, let's start off with this. Darcy, thank you for the great support. Last week, folks, Darcy bailed my ass out with a massive super chat. And that money got put to use today, mucking out and cleaning out portions of the Prepared Mind bunker, so it's more useful. We got flooded out during the hurricane, but Darcy, thank you again. Thank you. Semper Fi to all. Everyone raise a glass for a toast to America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Thank you. There it is. And Darcy T says, good evening, John. I think most people are bracing for the event that will rock the United States and or the world very shortly. Do you think there will be an event separate from the election or the election itself? So far, the whole freaking thing has been a farce, and we're moving ever closer to banana republic status. Cheers, says Darcy. I'll tell you what, Darcy, we are on a knife's edge. A knife's edge. Is there going to be an event that is designed intentionally to destroy America, fuck up our election, and send us into a tailspin? It's very possible. Now, let me start with this. Let me go with this. The election itself. Trump is smoking Kamala Harris. She is behind dramatically. Early exit polling is showing Trump in Nevada 2-1 over Kamala. Another state, was it Pennsylvania, I think. Trump is up like 11% and Kamala is down, Democrats down 11%. Big deal, folks, big deal. It's looking good for Trump. But what if Trump wins the election handily? Kamala's the vice president on January 6th. She is the one who certifies the Electoral College. What if she chooses not to? What if she refuses? There is no mandate. She can make up any excuse she wants. She can postpone it. She can say, we're not done counting. We're doing a recount. I have a right to object. There was cheating going on. Who knows? Right? Now, if she had any integrity, if she had a smidgen of decency, I wouldn't make fun of her so much. And I wouldn't doubt her and call her the liar that I know she really is, because that's all she fucking does is lie. Now, that's just the election itself. Trump can win. The states can certify within themselves their electors and send them to Washington. January 6th, Kamala is supposed to certify it. And then January 20th, we're supposed to have Inauguration Day. Between now, the election, and all of that, a lot of things can happen. Now, let's just assume that's not the problem. What event, you're asking, Darcy, could really throw everything off the train tracks? China. Over the weekend, Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping spoke to the People's Liberation Army while wearing a camouflage uniform and told the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, to prepare for war. Not good. Not good at all. Israel is fucking pissed off and is accusing the Kamala Harris administration. Yeah, Joe Biden's there somewhere. He's probably lost in the pantry eating ice cream. It's Kamala's administration. It's Kamala's presidency now. It just is. She's the titular head of the party as the candidate for president. Allegedly, accusedly, the Kamala administration has leaked Israel's bombing plans to Iran. Big news. And Israel, making that accusation, is pissed off that they share with their ally, the United States of America, what they're doing, so the United States of America is prepared. They're not worried. They understand what's going on. If a missile or two go up, they don't think it's a friggin' attack on America, that sort of thing. Well, now Iran knows the nature, time, the details of the coming attack. This isn't good, folks. Doing that to your allies kind of reminds me of the Afghanistan debacle, the one that Kamala Harris agreed with, according to Joe Biden, right? Abandon ship, abandon allies, abandon the military, cause people to be killed, just fuck up the entire mess, right? Good job. Good job, Kamala. I'm giving her all the credit, folks. She wants to wear the president's belt. Snap that buku, right? Wear the big super president on the chest and be super. No, you don't get to accept responsibility for the wins and pretend like you had nothing to do with the losses. So that's just it, right? War with China, probably invading Taiwan. War between Israel and Iran could go nuclear. And then there's, well, folks, then there's the problem. The problem with Ukraine. The problem with Ukraine. Allegedly, reportedly in the news, Kiev is trying to blackmail the United States of America. If they don't get money, if they don't get support, if they don't get weapons, it's alleged out there that Ukraine might deploy a dirty bomb in an effort to escalate the war, scare the hell out of everyone, and drag NATO and the United States of America into World War III with Russia. Now, are we so stupid as to believe that a dirty bomb set off by Kiev, Ukraine, was actually Vladimir Putin? Look, Putin has real bombs. He's got real clean nuclear weapons. He probably has some neutron bombs, which is a super clean nuclear weapon. He's got hypersonic missiles. He doesn't have to fuck around with dirty bombs. Why would he? They can do things very clean and precisely. But Ukraine, I think, would take this. They're that stupid. And as an example, and I love to give examples to demonstrate any claim I make. Any claim I make. Remember when Ukraine had some teeth and a dildo that they found and said, oh, look, it's evidence that Russia is selling women as sex slaves and killing people they take hostage, right? They're dumb enough to try that. Literally, they found a dirty, like a dirt-covered dildo and some human teeth and said, that is evidence Russia is sex trafficking people. It's just asinine, just some stupid shit. Okay. Anyways, Darcy, yes, we've got big trouble coming. What exactly? Let's just see. Bank of America Corporation is apparently sitting on an incredible number of silver shorts. Upwards of 100 million ounces or more by just Bank of America alone. The concentrated short trading position on Wall Street, I think, is over 700 million ounces of silver. Folks, there's only 900 million ounces of silver mined annually. And they're shorting it to that extent to keep the price down. Friday, the price exploded, went up $2 an ounce, blew past all of the stops, and it's now in very rare territory, looking like it can head up to $50, $60, $70 an ounce, doubling itself. Basically a nickel moment or a GameStop moment to be had here. Bank of America could be like Silicon Valley Bank and absolutely take a shit. Will the government bail them out? Will the government make them bail in and confiscate Let me just say this. What if Bank of America confiscated depositors? That means people who bank at Bank of America took their money and said, we've got to bail ourselves out. We made some bad bets on Wall Street. That could happen. That could punish everyone who's got a Bank of America account. To keep it from folding under, they could confiscate everyone. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. They will give you the equivalent value of your deposits in stock. That's right. You can get stock certificates in Bank of America, a bank so prosperous that Warren Buffett sold billions of dollars in Bank of America stock over the last several weeks. He is getting out of Bank of America. That's a big whoops. Banks are in trouble, folks. We could have a banking crisis. Anyways, there's no telling where it's going to go. There's no telling where it's going to go, Darcy. But the best thing to do is get prepared. Woo! If you've got something to say, hey, folks, this is Sunday Night Live. This is where you get to ask the questions. You get to talk to people in the chat. You get to hear opinions you're not going to hear anywhere else. Hear about news stories you're not going to hear anywhere else. Our job is to wake people up here. I was listening to Bob Moriarty the other day, Vietnam Marine Corps pilot, flew over 200 missions, I think over 250 missions. He actually sat there and said, hey, the most powerful weapon we have is our minds, the prepared mind. After that, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Means of self-defense, that is how you get prepared and understanding the world around you. Pow, that's my job, your job, and the things we talk about. So let's have some fun. Jolene says we got some people out there, got some questions. Who do we want to start with first, Jolene? Who is up on Sunday Night Live? And holy cow, Boomer's in the house. $20 super chat donation. Normally he waits till the second hour, so he's early. He's excited. And he says, Kamala Shit, who claims she's from a middle-class family, grew up in Westmount here in Montreal. Both former Prime Ministers Pierre Trudeau and Brian Mulroney lived there. They were neighbors. She's full of it. I'm going to disagree with you, Boomer. She's full of shit. She is a liar, a terrible liar, a terrifying liar at that. She is. She's absolutely. I saw pictures of the house, Boomer. It is a beautiful mansion that she grew up in as a middle-class family. What fucking life did she live where she thought living in what appears to be an 8,000 to 12,000 square foot multi-story mansion? Middle class, my ass. She is full of it, man. And also, other prime ministers in that neighborhood, yeah, not a middle-class neighborhood. And Justin Turdhole, by the way, he's really causing himself some problems. Anyways, Boomer, great point. She claims she grew up from a middle-class family. People, they're good to their lawns, I guess. They're proud of their lawns. There's a difference between middle class and upper class. In middle class families, you don't live in luxury. You live well, but you're worried about paying your bills. You're worried about paying your mortgage. You're worried about paying off your cars. You're worried about sending your kids to a school where they're not going to be converted into communists. When you're in upper class, your kids go to the school you pick and they learn what you want them to learn. When you're upper class, you don't worry about paying your bills next week, next month, next year. It's all taken care of. And that's the type of life that Camel Toes the Ho Harris grew up as. All right, I believe both of her parents, one was a professor, another was a fucking microbiologist or some shit. Super college educated, big time job type shit. Yeah, she is a liar. She also looks like she has been worked hard at the Bunny Ranch in Carson City, Nevada. She looks used and tired. Yeah. Scary woman, scary woman. Anyways, Boomer, thank you. Great point. And it's coming, folks. It's coming. And she's an angry bitch, too. We're over 300 people live, 311, and we're rolling. Hit the thumbs up. Keep sharing that internet address right up there. And if you've got something to say, we've got a button here, super chat button right up in the corner. Hit that button, get your comments on the screen, and I will make you famous. And anyone does a $50 or more super chat donation buys me a delicious Glenlivet 15. So delicious and nutritious. Oh, I did read a medical thing because so many people are concerned about how much I drink. It said if you have beef tallow in your diet, beef fat, then alcohol does not cause problems for your liver. I did not have an opportunity to read too much into that, like what's the connection, what's the correlation, but I did my share, and I ate lots of beef this weekend, some beef hot dogs, some hamburgers, which of course is steak burgers, lots of fat, folks. I'm good. I'm ready to drink. Jolene, who is up next? Who's ready to talk? Who's got something to say? And it is our good friend from the Netherlands, Remy Mersch, with a 22 euro super chat donation. He says, refill your pantry. And I'll tell you what, Remy, oh man, today, the pantry, the bottom shelf of the pantry, they got wiped out in that hurricane. I had to dispose of some long-term food storage stuff. Anyways, we're okay. This right here, $22 super chat will help refill the pantry. Thank you, Remy. And if you've got something to say, man, I want to know what's going on in the Netherlands. I want to know, are the people firmly behind Geert Wilders? Right? Are they firmly behind him? Are the Muslims in the country, are they saying that they're going to assimilate into the culture, learn the language, learn the laws, behave, stop breaking the fucking law? And in the Netherlands, are they going to get rid of mosques like many of the countries are? Just blow them up, get rid of them, stop that shit? I want to know what the hell's going on. Whatever you think is most important, Remy, let me know what you think. Hopefully Jolene can catch that. And so we're going to continue on. I'm telling you, folks, lots to talk about. I'm going to be here for 2 hours. We are now almost 30 minutes in, and it's go time. Thank you. Okay, Jolene. Oh, by the way, Uman was helping his son out, taking care of some domestic duties in the kitchen, rebuilding a sink or some shit. And the proverbial can of worms got him, and he's stuck there still, working and wrenching and being one of those hands-on kind of dad guys. Anyways, that's who Uman is. Hell of a guy, helping everyone he can. And Jolene is here to help me out because I only got 2 hands, and it's hard. It's hard to do this show all by myself these days. There are so many of you people getting involved. Now, who's up next, Jolene? What do we want to discuss? Hey, it's Shelly Chavers. She's back with a $20 super chat donation. Good to see you, Shelly. And she's got a trivia question. I wonder if I can do this. She says, who has actually worked the fry station at McDonald's? Kamala Harris or President Donald Trump? That was my own laugh out loud, not yours. This weekend, President Trump, Donald J. Trump, billionaire, owner of hotels, casinos, golf courses, businesses, a charitable man who by his very nature understands being decent to others and they will be decent to you. Donald Trump went to work at McDonald's. I got it right, Shelly. I got it right. Donald Trump went to work, literally took off the coat, still wearing the white shirt with the red power tie, put on the McDonald's apron, was cooking French fries, folks. And I got a picture of him at the drive-through window. Hey, everybody, right? He wanted to work at McDonald's so he could say he worked at McDonald's more than Kamala ever did, because she never did. And this is interesting. 1 second. Ooh, had a cerveza sneeze there. Wow. Here's the deal. Kamala never worked there. McDonald's immediately came out and said, Kamala Harris has never worked at a McDonald's. They didn't, folks, corporate America don't want to have nothing to do with her. Nothing at all, right? McDonald's has gotten all kinds of free press, publicity, everything from the campaign trail. Kamala saying she worked there. Well, that made Democrats go eat there, and Republicans were like, well, fuck you then. And then Trump is like, no, she didn't. And everyone's like, no, she didn't. So McDonald's is like, oh, but yeah, no, she didn't. And now Trump is there. Well, I'll tell you what. With all of the youths out there who are excited to be Make America Great Again supporters, and other people who like McDonald's, and folks, I can't even afford to eat at McDonald's. It's fast food it's more expensive than a fucking restaurant. Now, minus the tip. Anyways, yeah. So now Republicans, kids, all of the stereotypes about who eats at McDonald's, whoever the fuck they are, young people, city people, minorities love McDonald's. I don't know how they can afford it. I can't. But there's a huge push within those communities, the youths and the minority communities. They don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. In fact, they tried shaming Black Americans, in particular Black men in America, tried shaming them. They even brought out a piece of shit, tranny loving, lying sack of shit, not born here, Barack Obama, and trying to shame them. So a half-white Black man, not born in America, married to Michelle Michael Obama, allegedly a tranny, is going to lecture Black men on what it is to be a Black man. Not good. Not good at all. Woo! Thank you much, Shelley. Always good to hear from you. And thank you for the good laugh. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about it. And you brought it up for me. We're over 300 people live. Let's keep getting more people out there. Rolling. You got that super chat button up there. And I want to see this hit 400 plus today. So thumbs up, share the internet address. Of course, be sure. If you're going to type something, you've got to be a subscriber for 5 minutes or more. Make sure you subscribe down below. Now, Jolene says we got someone else in the wings waiting, and that person is none other than Dan the Man Erickson with a $5 super chat donation. Oh, good golly. He says, I bought 100 ounces of silver last month, $30 an ounce. I tell you what, man, that is good news, Dan. I'm glad you did. 100 ounces. They are now, well, $30 an ounce was the price he paid. Plus, there's this thing called a premium. Typically, it's anywhere from 15 to 25% premium on top of silver. Depends on whether you go with bars or rounds or sovereigns or American Eagles. But let's just say you paid $38 an ounce. It's taking a wild freaking guess. 8 times 100, you just made $800 because silver just closed at an incredible spot. And there is a lot going on, folks. And I'm going to take the time to dig in because I had hoped Dan the Man Erickson was going to show up. I knew you would, Dan. I'm pretty sure you were going to talk about precious metals. Both gold and silver. And I don't know how many of you are investors, whether you just have a 401k, whether you actively trade. A lot of you are just stackers, stacking gold and silver, physical coins and bullion. Some people are invested through families, through their jobs, whatever. But here's the deal. There is a cup and handle formation on gold and silver that'll knock your fucking socks off. It's unbelievable what's going on and can happen because of world issues, war, banking crisis, currency crisis, fiscal crisis, right? Finance, investments, everything. When they take a shot, the US dollar, folks, they've been trying to keep it high, but that's only compared to other currencies. The purchasing power because of inflation keeps bringing the dollar down. as a consequence, the U.S. The consequence of the U.S. dollar going down is gold and silver make some big gains. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Gold was valued at $35 an ounce when we came off the gold standard in 1971. By 1981, gold was $850. It's a handsome increase, wouldn't you say? Silver, the silver dollar, 1 ounce of silver, that was worth $1, right? Silver dollar. By 1981, it had gone up to $50. That's higher than it is today, for Pete's sake. Well, it was cornered by the Hunt brothers and a couple other things were going on, and they knocked it back down, but it did go up to 50. It was strong around 30. So silver, right, can do the same thing. It can go up 25, 50, maybe even 100 times. So that's where we're at with this. What is the value? And it's the economy. It's the national debt. It's all kinds of issues are affecting precious metals. But on top of it all, central banks, the super wealthy are buying gold hand over fist. That's why they've driven it to its all-time high closing on Friday, over 2,720, over 2,720 closed. Silver exploded up almost to $34. Well, shoot, Dan, I blew that, man. If you paid, well, at 34 plus 8 is 42, and that's $12. Anyways, a lot of money. Crazy business, folks. Crazy business. Well, anyways, I don't know. I'm getting all turned around. We got a $4 increase at 100, so $400 increase if you get the same premium. Enough said. I got that straightened out up here. Now, if you've got food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan together, it might behoove you to buy silver and gold. I have not had the good fortune to buy silver since the year was 2021. I bought my last little bits of silver. And I wish I had the resources to buy more, because I think it is probably the most explosive and potential moneymaker. But at the very least, it is a store of value. And it's set and primed to do something it hasn't done in over 50 years. Thank you, Dan, very much for that great question and topic. I did really want to talk about it. Jolene's on top of it. Let's do this. Let's do a super chat. Who else is up there? Who else is out there? Jolene, who is next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it is Nancy Keg with a $10 super chat. She says, nothing to say but hello and semper fi to all. Folks, the motto, right, of the Marine Corps, the United States Marine Corps, is semper fi, means always faithful, semper fidelis. It's Latin for always faithful. God, country, Corps, and who you are on the inside. Always be faithful and honest to yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, how could you be honest with anyone else in your family, your friends, your work, in dealing and wondering and working towards, goals? You've got to be honest. You've got to be true. Otherwise, you're living a lie. And if you're a Kamala Harris supporter, you're living her lies. I cannot be, folks, I can't believe people are buying this shit. I cannot believe that people are buying her shit. Now, I want to bring a little humor here before we get to the next super chat. And if you've got something to say, we got a button right up there, super chat button. You can get your questions, comments, thoughts. If you've got a prediction about the election, if you've got a worry, a prediction, a thought about the coming wars or currency issues or banking issues, super chat button, get your question down here. Thank you, Nancy, very much. And I want to share a story with you I found on Twitter. The user's name was Mila Joy. Mila space Joy. Mila Joy. And she wrote some funny shit. And I want to share this story with you before we take off into the next super chats. She says, we have flown a regular-sized American flag on the front of our house every day of the last 23 years we've lived there. We have newer neighbors that I would guess are in their early 30s. They have a 5-year-old son. 5-year-old son. My hubby is friendly with them. Yesterday, the husband came over and had the nerve to ask my hubby to remove the flag because it triggers his son. She writes 2 things. First, how does a 5-year-old become triggered by the flag of his birth? Can you imagine what the parents are drilling into this poor kid? Second, the complete nerve of this guy to ask. Needless to say, today my husband replaced our regular size flag with a huge one and another one that says Kamala sucks. Now, hanging a flag that says Kamala sucks, that is a true statement. Willie Brown can attest to how much she sucks. I'm sure Montel Williams can attest to how much she sucks. I bet I would put money on P. Diddy knowing exactly how much Kamala sucks. Now, in this case, folks, I think it's completely appropriate for this person to have put up a bigger flag. And truly, there is a disservice being done to children around the country by liberals, by fruitcakes, by Democrats, to their own children, recommending and encouraging them to deny what they are. Once again, semper fi, honest with others around you, always faithful to who you really are. I was born with a dick. That makes me a man. And I am not going to fucking be, what do you call it, disrespectful to who and what God has created. It's incredible to me that people would do that to their own children. Unbelievable. Seriously, unbelievable they would do that. Now, while I'm right there, I wrote this down earlier. I want to talk about my purpose in life, being honest and true to who I am, always faithful. I know I'm a little coarse, folks. I was not put here, though, on this earth, in the United States of America, born in the 70s. I was not put here to charm people with my eloquence, with my loquacious nature, right? I wasn't put here to be a soft-spoken, sellout politician. I am here to wake people up to the realities of our modern age and insist to them that they need to toughen up and get prepared, right? If you think about the people in office, these silver-tongued intellectual eggheads, I wasn't sent here to be that, a lawyer, a bullshit artist, right? Because they will not do what is necessary to defeat and exterminate an enemy in the faces of his neighbors and state. And we have enemies in this country, and the politicians, they won't do a damn thing about it, will they? Open border, what have they done to stop it? Terrorist organizations in this country, Antifa, BLM, Hamas, and Palestinians, they don't care. Let them run wild. You can't trust politicians, folks. So a hardcore, freedom-oriented American patriot is what is needed. And those types of people that you want, right? In case of emergency, break glass. Do you want a fucking limp-wristed, low-T soy boy, fruit salad shooting sausage smoker? Or do you want a fucking hard-charging, ass-kicking, masculine man? Men. Hardcore people. And there's women that fit into that as well. Hardcore. Right? No. Right? Those people who are hardcore, they're not soft. We're not kind. We're rough, hard, right? Got sharp edges and corners, right? We're unbending when you face the enemy. That's what America needs right now. Not a bunch of pussies, not a bunch of fucking statesmen who won't do anything. We need real Americans. So ask the question of yourself. Has being soft-spoken, gentle, bending, squishy, Has that, right? The let others handle it attitude, has that worked? So ask yourself, again, if you will, am I ready for things to get out of hand? Am I ready for things if they get nasty? Am I ready for shit to hit the fan big time? My purpose in life has been to work with everyone out there to get prepared. All right, Jolene, who wants to be up next? Who is on the Prepared Mind channel list? And it's Dan Erickson. And he's got a $2 super chat, and he's going to make us all jealous because guess what he did? He bought 7 ounces of gold at $1,850 an ounce. He probably paid somewhere between $100 and $150 premium for that gold, puts him right at, say, $2,000 an ounce. Gold is now selling for over $2,700 an ounce, plus premium. So what he bought at $1,850 is almost $1,000 more valuable. And folks, that was 1 year ago. It was down at $1,850. In 1 year, it's gone up 40% in value, purchasing power. Gold is being sucked up by central banks, by nations, not just central banks like the European Central Bank, the Bank of Poland, the Bank of Germany. No. Right? The countries themselves, China, Russia, India, they're buying gold by the ton, literally ton, tens of tons, hundreds of tons, and even thousands of tons. And last week, at the beginning of the week, if I recall correctly, Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation said they're also going to start stockpiling silver. There is already a silver deficit. In other words, they're consuming 1.1 billion ounces of silver a year, yet they're only mining in primary silver mines and the secondary silver producing mines. That is to say, they're mining lead, zinc, copper, and they're getting silver out of that, quite a bit there. Silver is down somewhere between 700 and 800 million ounces a year, but they're burning through it in industrial applications much faster. What that means is we're going into deficit. You can't sell your mommy's forks, knives, spoons, and serving dishes and get enough silver to compensate for this loss. So what is silver being used for? Let's start with military industrial purposes. It is used in high-tech munitions, anywhere from 100 to 300 million ounces a year. What else? Solar panels. They're still trying to cover the earth in solar panels, which use a lot of silver, and they're consuming anywhere from 300 to 500 million ounces of silver. Jewelry, very small amount. Us retail investors, if we wanted to stack silver, a very small amount, relatively speaking. Other industrial purposes, electronics, computers, phones, uses 100 million ounces. They're short, folks. And then guess what is happening? Well, the solar people are looking in the next 10 years, the next 5 to 10 years, to double silver consumption, because now on the top of a solar panel, silver, they're going to put them on the bottom as well. Why would they do that? Because it's not just sunlight, it's heat. So heat that bounces off the ground comes back up, creates energy. You get almost double the energy output of a panel by having, well, cells on both sides. But there's something even bigger that's coming. Samsung has a silver battery. A silver battery that's going to compete with lithium-ion batteries that'll go into the EV market, electric vehicle market, and other electronics that require batteries. They charge in, instead of 3 or 4 hours, charge in 9 minutes. You get twice the amount of energy stored in them. You can go twice as far on a silver battery. So these batteries, folks, And I've been watching them since like 2020. Samsung talking about their battery technology with silver. They've proven it out. Now they're actually producing them. They'll be putting them in EVs, sending them out so they're market tested, real world tested, and they're going to be very popular. Very popular. This silver and gold issue, folks, the gold that Dan is talking about is going to go up because, well, BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and another couple dozen nations, guess what they're doing? They're collecting gold by the ton. Hundreds and even thousands of tons of gold is being scooped off the market because they're going to back a currency that is competitive with the United States dollar, or the Federal Reserve note, if you will. Probably a more accurate term for the currency we use here in America. They're going to compete. Russia's been kicked out of the dollar. The United States government in Washington, D.C., not me. Are you listening, Putin? It's Sergey, you listening? We didn't steal it. Washington, D.C. stole hundreds of billions of dollars from Russia by freezing their account. So they're like, you know what? We can't do business with America. We can't use the SWIFT system. We need our own. So how do we trade from country to country and settle debts? Well, you need to have a currency in your country based off of gold and other real commodities. So that's why all these banks that we're talking about, these central banks around the world, are buying gold by the ton so they can back their currency. It'll be independently audited. So this has been talked about for a couple of years, and they've slowly worked up to this. They're now using it. I believe it's Project Enbridge is the proof. It's the system of trading to make sure everyone is paid. You sell something to a country, you want to get paid. If you guys are trading, you want to get paid. Now, here's the deal. This coming Tuesday, today is October 20th. Happy birthday, Mom. Today is October 20th. Tuesday, October 22nd, guess what happens? The BRICS are meeting, and they may reveal to the world their plans. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of hype, and there was last year at the same time. But it seems like if they're testing their system, and they've been buying gold and now silver, right? They are going to put the hurt on the world. They're not going to need the US dollar anymore. Crazy business, folks. Are you prepared? Anyways, Dan, congratulations on your purchase. That is good. You've not only protected your wealth and your assets, you've increased your purchasing power because the value of gold was understated. The value of silver is undervalued, understated. So owning them, once you're prepared, is a great way to protect your wealth and even increase it. In fact, I think gold has beaten the S&P for the last 20 or 25 years, right? It's certainly beaten the dollar, which loses anywhere from 2 to 20% a year, but gold has increased its value, right, above the magic 7 number in investing. All righty, it looks like we're ready to roll on again. If you've got something to say, super chat button right up there. And right now, we've got a couple people lined up and waiting. Get your comments in up here to get you down here. Jolene, who is next? We've got Matt D in the house with a $10 super chat donation. And he says, long story short, I'm transferring my individual retirement account, my IRA, to Noble Gold. And the forms I scanned in 2 times to my current IRA advisor, quote, we can read your signature on the form, but nothing else. It's all blurry. Lies. All lies. Matt, I don't blame you for wanting to transfer money out of your IRA, take it away from Wall Street, and putting it in gold, Noble Gold. Now, I don't do any business with Noble Gold, folks. I can't say one way or another, good, bad. I'm indifferent. However, if Matt D is trusting them, I sure hope, Matt, you did all of your research and you feel very confident. I am not a certified financial advisor. I know several of them. A couple of them are friends of mine. And guess what they don't do? They don't invest in gold. Or if they do, they don't tell me. Because I'll bring gold up. I'll say, hey, what do you think of gold? They're like, yeah. May just be advisable not to talk about it too loud. I know here we're all basically anonymous. I sure wish I had some gold, but, you know, a little bit of silver. As you guys know, I have just a little bit. And I tell you what, I love silver and gold. They're beautiful things. But I think when this was when this was given to me, this is a 1 ounce silver round. It was worth about 19 or 20 bucks an ounce. It's up over 50%, folks. In fact, it's almost up 70% right now. All I had to do is let it sit on my Prepared Mind desk for the last 4 or 5 years. So let's see. If it went up 70% over 5 years, that's quite a bit per year, isn't it? If it was over 10 years, that would be 7% a year. So let's just say 15% a year average. Not so bad, right? Anyways, banks, investment funds, they are not going to want to let you out of their system. They aren't going to let you go. They won't do it. They will lie, cheat, and steal anything they can to keep you in their system. Just like if you were to go to a bank and say, you know what, I've got $20,000 on deposit. I would like that right now in cash. They're going to go, whoa, no, we can't do that. No, we don't have that kind of money in the vault, they'll say. It's a lie. We have to order that kind of cash to get out. It's a lie. Well, what are you doing with that? Why do you need that much cash? That's an awful lot of cash for a person to have. They play those games, folks. They play those games. They don't want you to let it go. They say, well, it's not really your money. And it's not. It's not your money. When you deposit money into a bank, guess what you're doing? You're giving them that money. They can do whatever they want with it, and that means they're going to go invest it. You have made an unsecured loan to the bank. What we used to call a deposit is an unsecured loan. And they don't have to give it back. And if they lose the money, the way it appears, Silicon Valley Bank, remember when they collapsed? That was like the third or fourth biggest bank to ever collapse. Your money's gone. It's wiped out. The remember that insurance that's supposed to protect us, right? The FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They have, I believe, less than 2%. I believe that's the number. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Less than 2% of the resources needed to fix those kind of problems. In other words, you lose your money, you go to FDIC, they're going to be like FEMA in North Carolina. Sorry, we don't have the money. We had the money, but we sent the money somewhere else. Well, wow. Crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, we can read your signature, but everything else is blurry, right? Well, we know that's a lie, Matt. We all know, right? You want to get out of your IRA? Oh, fuck. I'm gonna go back 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. I talked with the financial advisor for the organization I was working with. And I said, why don't you invest in gold? And I asked that with knowing what the answer was. Gold, that's not an investment. That's just insurance for an economic collapse. Hey, it's 2024, right? But you know what the deal is people that are certified financial advisors, CFAs, guess what they don't get? When you buy gold, they don't get any money. They're there to sell you things that you make them money for. They get paid for you investing. The same way you go see a doctor, he gives you some prescription drugs. You think you're getting fixed. They're getting a giant kickback. That's exactly what they're there for, right? Selling drugs. They're drug pushers. And they get their kickbacks. Not saying that they don't help people from time to time, right? But I would rather eat a hamburger to help my liver and drink alcohol than to take some sort of heart medication from some doctor that's going to fuck me up even worse. All right. Great topic, Matt. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, this week is crazy. Matt D with another $10 super chat donation. All right, Matt. He says, these financial institutions don't want us taking our money out. It's our money, he says. Is there no money in the markets? Oh, there's plenty of money, but they don't want it leaving. They do not want your money, my money, anyone's money to leave, period. You know what a bank run is? When confidence in a bank or the entire banking system erodes, people go to the bank and say, I'd like to take my money out. I don't trust you guys and what you're doing. There was a massive bank run on SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. And what was the other freaking bank as well? There were 3 banks that failed, and the VIX went nuts, or the volatility index. Banking confidence was toast, but they pumped all kinds of money in it, bailed it out, put a big fat Band-Aid on it, and everyone just kind of forgot about it. I mean, how many dinners have you been to in the last week, or friends' houses for a beer, and someone said, hey, man, remember that Silicon Valley Bank collapsing last year? No one talks about it. It's gone. Gone with the wind. All right, Matt, thank you again. I really appreciate it. Jolene, let's do some more. Let's have some fun. What else have we got? Bump. Boomer's back for his number 2 super chat donation, another Canadian $20. And he says, hey, if camel shit gets in, she'll crash the dollar within the next 4 years and will be stuck with digital currency. You'll then need precious metals just to buy a steak off of a farmer. Okay, man, you had to say it. You had to go there. The dollar may crash no matter what. Imagine a plane flying, right? Flying in the air, way the fuck up there, 5,000 feet, a mile in the air, and someone dumps all the fuel out of engine number 1, and they hit the self-destruct on engine number 2. Right, so you got the nose, right? You got one on each wing and then one on the nose. You only got one engine, propeller going. That plane's going to have to start coming down. That plane is coming down. The Democrats have had 4 years, and yeah, they've done a hell of a job destroying shit, haven't they? They've spent too much. They gave money away, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, hundreds of billions of dollars. They gave billions of dollars to Iran. Billions of dollars to Israel, billions of dollars to lots of countries. Oh, America, you guys had an emergency? Fuck you guys, right? That's what they've done to us. Screwed us over. Now, can Trump save us? His policies, I think, are good. But there is one type of policy in there that I think could stop what you're talking about. Because, yeah, Kamala, if she's in office, it's done. It's cooked. It's over. And we'll be on CBDCs, which is what the Bank of International Settlements, the BIZ, wants anyways, right? Every central bank in the world is subsidiary to the Bank of International Settlements. It is the bank of banks on the planet. And they have a commandment out there that everyone will have an operating central bank digital currency by 2025. If they were to give me a CBDC bank, an account, shit, I'll buy silver with it. They want to just give me money and tell me I got to go spend it. I'll spend it someplace useful. Anyways, or maybe I'll get some more cans of Spam and tuna fish, right? You bet. Now, stuck with digital currency, Boomer. That's what they're going to push for. This central bank digital currency, a CBDC or Fed coin, which is a name that I coined and thought would be a good one for a central bank digital currency back in, I think, 2017, I was talking about it. FedCoin, a CBDC. You see, that can be throttled. It's not even your money. It's money that they're just going to put out there, kind of like the the UBI, Universal Basic Income. Everybody in this communist world gets a certain amount of money in their electronic account. But if you don't do as you're told, if you're a bad person, you travel too far, you speak too loudly, you post on X, Twitter, or Facebook, or any social media comments that aren't good, or you prove through your other purchases that, you know what, you're not quite the best person that the government and the banks like. You bought ammunition. Ooh, you're a bad American. You bought scotch. You're a bad American. Right? And they'll just shut off your account. Let's just say you're only supposed to travel 100 miles from your home. Well, who the fuck is the government or a bank to tell me where I can travel? Well, they're the people that can just cut off your bank account and say, you're not traveling anywhere. You try and get gas when you're too far from home, they'll shut you down. Shut off your card, your account, whatever. That's the power these banks have. They've been canceling members of the Trump family. I believe it was Barron Trump. Barron Trump had his accounts canceled because banks don't like the Trumps. I think that we need to have a couple of banking parties, folks. I think there needs to be for banking, and I am not promoting anything harmful or dangerous. This is a satirical joke, but I think that a crystal knock for the banks might be in line. This is our country, fuckers. It's our money. You are mere custodians of our deposits and our wealth. Stinking banks. All right, Boomer. Great topic and camel shit. Let's pray she doesn't get in. Oh, there's a whole lot on that, folks. A whole lot on that. What is going on, folks? What is going on out there? It's pretty crazy business. We'll leave that one alone. Let's do some more of your super chats. We passed the 1 hour mark. We're going to go 2 hours. And as oftentimes happens, if there's super chat donations after the 2 hour mark, we'll stay late and make sure your topic gets covered, because this show isn't me. These aren't all my topics. I'm just aware of a lot of stuff. Why am I blurry? There we go. A little better. I'm familiar with the topics. About 99% of the time, I know what the hell you guys are talking about. But it's your show. You pick the topics, which means the rest of the country, the rest of the world gets to know that other people are thinking the same things, concerned about all of these variety of topics, right? I just don't talk about the military. I don't just talk about the southern border. I don't just talk about the election or nuclear war or gold. No, we talk about everything because it's all tied together, all of it. Jolene, who is next on the Prepared Mind Network? And it is Dan the Man Erickson with a $5 super chat. And he says, and don't forget about investing in large amounts of pew-pew for what's coming. Well, so our recommendation always is food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Oh, yeah, means of self-defense. But what makes the grass grow? I can't sing that song, right? But you need ammunition, pew-pew, ammunition. The other precious metals, right? Gold is precious. Silver is precious. But brass, copper, and lead, right? Those are precious also. And when you combine them all together with a primer and a little bit of nitrocellulose, you have ammunition. What is more valuable? 1 ounce of silver or 1 round of ammunition? Could be anywhere from 40 cents to $4 a round. Well, the silver is more valuable. It is more precious, if you will, than a round of ammunition, which is brass, copper, and lead. Except and unless someone, a bad guy, is coming at you down the street. You hear in the distance ammo, shots fired, people screaming, sirens. You see smoke, you smell smoke. Trouble's brewing and it's coming your way. Now I'm going to ask you, would you rather have 1 ounce of silver, or would you rather have a 30-round magazine full of precious metal in 5.56? See, that's when large amounts of that precious metal is more important. Because if you have no ammunition, how are you going to protect yourself and your assets from being taken by someone else who does have ammunition? So you do need the other kind of precious metal, folks, which is brass, copper, lead, and cold blue steel. At the 2-week mark, I will have a full combat load on me, around me, and an AR-15 as things get stupid. Not to mention a Typhoon AR-12 with very large, high-capacity magazines as well. If you know what a Typhoon a 12 is, it's not playing around time, folks. You know, not playing around. How about 500 grains of lead flying very fast? Double-aught and triple-aught buckshot. Go right through a car door and out the other side. It's time to be prepared. Large amounts of pew-pews, I'm telling you, large amounts. Dan, I want to thank you for the great support you've shown us, and that you are a patriot who is indeed concerned about your well-being and the well-being of the country. Folks, I need all of America. I need all of America to know what's going on and be prepared. I can't fight this alone. You can't fight this alone. Dan can't fight this alone. No Marine, no soldier, no sportsman can do this alone. We need our country intact. We need our republic. Not a democracy. It's not a democracy. It's a republic, and we need it preserved. And this is our chance coming up. November 5th. November 5th is when we vote to preserve our union and our republic from fascist, socialist scumbags. And I don't have to grossly exaggerate. That's exactly what they are. This is your show. Super chat button right up there. Hit that button. We'll get your questions down here. What do you want to talk about? What have I missed? I've got at least 30 emails I sent myself with different stories. But it's not my show. It's your show. It is Sunday Night Live. It is the Zoo. And it's your turn, Jolene. Who is up next on the Prepared Mind Network? Good golly, Miss Molly. We haven't seen Cottage Farm in months. I know she's been out there. She's good. But and a huge $50 super chat donation. And that means, Cottage Farm, you're buying me a Glenlivet 15. I was getting a little dry. Woo! It's good to see you're back. Wonderful. I hope and I pray that you, milady, are doing well out there in the great Northwest. Semper Fi prayers for everyone, folks. Even in the Northwest, Northern California, Oregon, Washington. Even though it's full of communists, it's full of patriotic, good Americans. Here's to you, Cottage Farm. Down the hatch. Semper Fi. Oh, wow. There it is. Cottage Farm says, hi, John, Jolene, Oliver, and the Prepared Mind Anonymous. No, the FBI is watching. The FBI, they're there, Cottage Farm. They're there. They're watching, listening, and always tattletelling. Social media is not a good spot to chit-chat. It is a dangerous place to put out who you are, where you're at, what your real plans are, whatever they are. You need operational security. Now, I have stuck my neck out since 2013, December of 2013. I don't say who I am exactly. I don't say where I'm at exactly. And I don't give away my plans exactly. But I want to be one of the people that lives their life and says, you know what, I'm gonna do my best to help other people see what's going on and prepare for themselves. Now, I've said this for years. I've got my idea what works for me. What works for me as a person, what works for me psychologically, what works for me physically, right? So I can't tell you rural is the best. Even though I lived remote rural, it's a good way to go into SHTF and survive it, right? Other people have told me and argued for years that it's being in an urban environment, downtown, right? There's lots of resources and blah, 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 blah. Everyone has their beliefs. Everyone has something that suits them, fits their model, how they can get along. Right? Don't put too much information out about yourself unless you want trouble. Now, with respect to the Federal Bureau FBI, the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigating Patriots, they watch, they listen, they snitch, they'll show up at your door, knock, give you a hard time. I'll tell you what, I think I've had a couple of little run-ins, but I'm not too worried about them. I am not a criminal. I am not a terrorist. I am not a hoarder. I do nothing illegal. I do everything lawful. I understand the Constitution. So I have nothing to fear from those assholes, those salad shooting, felching buttheads in the FBI. Again, as I stated in the beginning of the show, toughen up. I'm not here to be nice to the bad guys. I'm here to tell the bad guys, I see you, I know who you are, and I know what you're up to. It's up to no good. And I'm prepared to deal with the consequences of all the shit they're doing. Right? I've lived a good life. Right? I want everyone else, my children, my grandchildren, to live good lives as well. Woo! I tell you what. Anyways, Cottage Farm, great seeing you. And that scotch hit the spot. I hope you're doing well, and I'm glad that you're back here and share. I guess you'll share with us from time to time what's going on in your world. You know how to get a hold of Jolene, Uman, and me, so keep in touch. Of course, glad you're back on the show. Good to see that smile you got down there, and I hope everything is well on the old homestead. Thank you, Cottage Farm. Jolene, who's up next? FBI. Oh, yeah, they're not nice to people. They intimidate people. They scare people. They fuck with people. And it's Chin Music. He's back. And he says, let me play Karnak with the envelope up to my head. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's the end of the old envelope thing. The great Karnak with the envelope up to my head. I envision many bank managers' wives becoming widows soon. Yeah. I tell you what, folks, I know what he's talking about. Now, Chin is not threatening anyone. He's not recommending anyone do anything violent. He's being funny because he's one of the funniest dudes that I deal with, right? Yeah, looking into the future. And yes, bank manager, his bank goes under. People want their money, and he keeps telling them they can't have it. It's not theirs. It's gone. And it's gone. We're going to put your money in a money market account, and it's going to go in there. It's going to spread around a different currency, and it's gone. Right? Yeah. People are going to take it out on their bank managers on a local level. I believe that is very possible. I believe that's going to happen in a lot of places. The same way. Now, is it illegal to kill people? Yes, that's called murder. Unless it's in self-defense, as in someone else is trying to murder you. And so you can defend yourself. But we are seeing a type of justice in America that we haven't seen before. Like the elected sheriff. That's right. A sheriff was elected. He served, right? But something was going on with a judge in his county. And apparently, allegedly, his daughter, his underage daughter, and this judge. So the sheriff, very politely, shot him to death. We're seeing more and more of that type of justice. fathers and even mothers who have had family members affected by robbery, rape, and murder, getting their own, shall we say, justice taken care of, because the justice system does not. In England, folks, that's right, jolly old England, where our good friend Steve Conlon is over there. Not Vincent Boyle, he's in Belfast, Ireland. Not Bob Hunter up in Scotland, but Steve Conlon in jolly old England. Over there, these wackos from other countries like Pakistan, they assault, kidnap, and rape people and go not to jail. They beat up, assault police, and they do not get thrown in jail. Meanwhile, young boys and old men are being arrested and thrown in jail for waving the British flag, for saying something to a police dog, for carrying a flag that says Hamas is terrorists. That was a woman got arrested for that one. Hamas is a terrorist organization that on October 7th killed over 1,000 people in Israel, kidnapped them, murdered them, tortured them, raped them, burned them alive. But if you want to call Hamas a terror organization, you'll be arrested. They're letting out sex offenders. They refuse to arrest immigrants who do all manner of evil and crime. But they'll throw you in jail for daring to say something. Justice is coming, and it ain't going to be pretty. Folks, justice is blind. And I think this is probably an important topic to bring up. I think everyone has seen justice. It's a woman with a sword in one hand, holding a set of scales in the other, and she's blindfolded. She can't see. She just knows that the scales of justice need to be balanced. And that's what the sword is for. That's why justice carries a sword as well as scales. Because in order to make the scales balance, the sword is used, justice. And if the government will not do it, then we are way out of balance, folks. And that's the risk. That's the threat. That is, Mr. Music. That is what the analogy is all about, or metaphor. That justice is blind, but justice is armed, and justice weighs what is right and wrong. And right now, the right is light, and the heavy weight bearing down from the evil is just overpowering the scales. And it needs to be righted. It needs to be fixed. And that may be what Thomas Jefferson was talking about when he said, the tree of liberty needs to be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants and patriots. Or was it patriots and tyrants? But that's just it. When the tyrants outweigh and we get knocked out of kilter, when the scales of justice are no longer balanced, then people take things and they take justice into their own hands. Is it right for the government to convict someone, send them to prison, and put them in the electric chair, execute them? Is that right? Well, supposedly, a judge, prosecutors, law enforcement, investigators, a jury, they all have enough evidence to say, yeah, that's the bad guy. And the price for what was done is execution. Now, let's just say let's just say one of my sons was killed, and I know who did it, and the police don't do their job, and the judge doesn't do their job. The prosecutor refuses to do his job. Justice is not being served, but I know who is guilty, and they deserve death every bit as much as the other person that a judge, prosecutor, police, and jury took, 15, 20 people to figure it out. What if I don't fucking need them to figure it out? Justice will be equally served, and the punishment will be just as righteous. But, we like to say, hey, look, let the justice system work. It's failing, folks. England is fucking dead. Here in America with these woke, liberal, anti-constitutional, un-American, communist judges. They're doing their best, folks, to ruin it, to tip the scales of justice and break them. And then justice only holds the sword. It's amazing what Scotch can do to the mind. All right, Jen, thank you, man. I appreciate the great support and the awesome topic. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? Where are we at? Almost at the 90-minute mark. Woohoo! We've got more to talk about. We're at 350 people live. Make sure you've hit the thumbs up button on this video. Share that internet address right up there with everyone you know, especially Democrats. Those dumbasses are actually waking up, a lot of them, and going, you know what? Why the hell are we voting for Kamala? They've ruined everything. Inflation. We're being overrun. Border. They're screwing up the government. It's not doing its job. There's no justice in the courts. Right? They threw Jeffrey Epstein in jail, and he's dead now, for having an island where they abuse kids. And then you got Jizzy Maxwell. She's been thrown in jail. She has the book that talks about the clients who flew to Jeffrey Epstein's island to rape children. But they have the black book. Jeff was in prison. He's dead. Jizzy is in jail, prison, rotting. But all those clients who we know are in that book. Justice is not being served. It's not being served in that instance. Those scales, folks, are out of kilter. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind Network? And it's Dan the Man Erickson back again, pal, with another $10 Super Chat donation. And he says, that's the longest hair you have now that I can remember. Your flat top is not there. If it wasn't for the fucking hurricanes, Dan, I'd have it cut. Right? Just business here. Everything is just on hold. Not enough time running around trying to get people's houses back together, help them get their lives back. But I'm thinking this week for sure. It hasn't been this tall in a while, but yeah, it grows long and then it becomes kind of a little more rounded on top. But I'll have it flat and graduated the Marine Corps 0 to 3 inches up. Yeah, it's a little bushy right now, but neat and tidy nonetheless. Anyway, he says, your flat is not there. I prefer mine short. Also, a number 5 on the electric shear is good. I'm going to go with a number 1 to number 2 on the sides, up to 3/4 of an inch on the front and about 1/4 inch on the top. I got a pointy head. It's kind of pointy. So right here in the middle, it's shorter, but it looks tall because of the front part. I do not have a receding hairline, just since we're talking hair. Right? I got the widow's peak here. That's El Natural. Little bit of receding hairline. My older son, in his last picture I got, he's got my father's receding hairline. He's in trouble, that poor kid. Anyways, you like the number 5? I like the number 1, 2, and it works pretty good. Anyways, no dye here. This is all natural. And I've never really thought about it until I got here to Florida and spent a lot of time around a lot more people, because there's large cities in Florida, unlike extreme Northern California. There's not many natural people with fucking blonde hair this color. I used to think that, we were like, 1 in 20, 1 in 50. It's probably 1 in 1,000 have this color hair. Weird shit, folks. It's a weird world. I'm extremely Scandinavian and Celtic that way. Lots of fun. Anyways, thank you, Big Dan. I like the number 2, right? Number 2. A lot of people, but I'll get this flat top squared away. And I've got to work with some more military type guys here in the coming week. I don't need them thinking any less of me. Anyways, thank you, Dan. And who is up next, Jolene? Who? And if you've got something to say, kapow, right up there, super chat button. And it's Blue Cord Devil. He has been a member for 36 months on the the super chat. The YouTube membership. We've got membership on YouTube as well, and he's been here a long time. Blue Core Devil, great supporter of the channel. And he says, hey there, John, Uman, Jolene, and everyone else. It's been more than 3 years since I've been watching. Hope everyone is doing good and prepared. Peace and prayers. Watch your six. Stay calm. Stay armed. That's all great, great advice. Right? And I pray everyone is well, safe, healthy, and of course, fully prepared, which means food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. And it is truly, the prepared mind is the most valuable tool out there. That hurricane, or rather hurricanes, that swatted Florida, that took its toll on me psychologically. It pissed me off. It stressed me out. It cost me a lot of sleep. It put me in a lot of physical pain. It scared the living shit out of everyone. And what helped me survive it? Prepared mind. It was good knowing I had food, water. It was good knowing I had a good shelter, bunker. Didn't take too bad of a hit, right? The right clothing, you bet I had it. Medicines, first aid kit, medical kit, antibiotics. Good to know I had all that stuff. A friend of mine, after the storm was going through, I went through everything and I pulled out this big bag of white brand new socks, and they go, what do you got socks for? What are you gonna do with socks and shit? It's the fan. I was like, these aren't socks. This is bandage. This is gauze. This is to help protect a wound once you dress it, stitch it up, glue it together, whatever, duct tape it, right? It's a bandage. Like, okay. Anyways, all good. Peace and prayers, folks. I pray to the Almighty constantly. We need help. We need good signs. We need good things to happen. And I think it is, right? I'm not going to lose my faith, but I'm not going to give up being prepared. I'm not going to give up making the right decisions. While we're waiting, not waiting for anything. There's this old joke, and I guess I'll tell it because I haven't told it in a while, right? And considering the bad things that have happened up in all through Florida, and then of course up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and thoughts and prayers to everyone there who's been affected negatively, their property, their lives, their family members lost, their cities, their roads, their bridges, their infrastructure, their lives, their customs, their culture just decimated. It's horrible. But there's a story in here. There's a story here, right? The policeman shows up at the house and he knocks on the door. He says, hey, a flood's coming. I need you to evacuate. I need you to get ready and leave. And the person says, no. The Lord will save me. Cop says, all right, I got to go tell everyone else, warn them the storm is coming. Right? So the storm comes. The water is up. Right? Up to the door. And the sheriff pulls up in a boat. He says, jump in the boat. We got to get you out of here. Right? We've got everything prepared so that you can be safe, your family. Everyone evacuate into the boat now. And the family man says, no. He says, the Lord will save me. All is good. Right? Go help someone else. So the sheriff leaves. The storm continues. The family gets out the top window, climbs up on the roof, and they're sitting on top of the roof, right? Helicopter comes by. Got a loudspeaker. Grab the rope, right? Grab the ladder rope that's hanging. Climb up here into the helicopter. We're going to rescue you. Right? The family all climbs the rope, climbs up in there, but the man sits on the house. He says, nope. The Lord's going to save me. Right? You got my family. You're rescuing them. Great. Go away. But I'm going to stay here. Right? I've got my faith. Well, the helicopter flies off, takes the family to safety, but the guy drowns. And he gets up to heaven. He goes to the pearly gates and he walks on in and he goes, Lord, talking to Jesus, right? What happened, man? I had perfect faith in you. I thought you were going to save me. He says, look, dude, I sent you a car, a boat and a helicopter. You missed all three chances, right? In other words, pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Be prepared. Make good decisions. Don't lose your faith, but fucking be smart about it. All righty, Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got drum roll. Dan Erickson back with a $10 super chat donation. And if you got something to say here, there's a super chat button right up there. We've got about 25 minutes left of the show. And so if you got something to say, I want to hear it. Dan says with his $10 super chat, the government knows exactly who I am. I have 3 legal suppressors. And I'm jealous, Dan. I don't have any legal suppressors. But I tell you what, the government knows exactly who I am, folks. How could they not? They can track my IP. They can track my cell phone. They can track my bank account. They can track me till they're blue in the face. I don't care because I am a completely 100% constitutional, lawful citizen. I've got a First Amendment. I've got a Second Amendment, not to mention 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th Amendments. I'm not a big fan of the 14th. I don't really think that's great. The 16th can suck it. But listen, folks, Dan has great confidence that he's not breaking any law, that he's taking the necessary steps. I hope and I pray and I wish that everyone else has that same confidence, that they are well prepared and they have protection, and that if they have any wealth, it's gone into making sure they're taking care of themselves, their family, and to the extent necessary, needed, and wished for, their community. We should not have to fear our government, but a lot of people do literally fear the government. How can they not? Right? I know my government is a pile of shit. The government of Florida is not too bad, but the federal government, forget it. And they're lapdogs all over the country in media, right? They're just as interested in seeing you and me, our demise, occur. In fact, folks, a CNN commentator says white people who do not vote for Kamala Harris need to be held accountable. Well, I'm a white people. And I will not be voting for Kamala Harris. So, me, bitch, hold me accountable for voting for Donald Trump in this election. Now, up in the state of Pennsylvania, if you have a yard sign, a bumper sticker, a sign in your window, a flag that says Trump, those people in Pennsylvania are getting letters, threatening letters sent to them, telling them there's a price to pay and you'll be held accountable. What, this is fucking incredible. We can't hold them accountable. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Jill Biden, Jim Biden, who is Joe's brother, is part of their cartel. The Obamas, the Clintons, the Pelosi's, up Chuck Schumer. Who's holding those scumbags accountable? Or Mitch McConnell, or Kevin McCarthy, or Mittens Romney, those rhino sellouts and all their cohorts. Why aren't they being held accountable? It's funny how they want to hold us accountable, but them, no, they don't need that. They don't want that. They can't be held accountable. Crazy business, folks. And it is Sunday Night Live. It is the zoo. And I'm going to tell you more about these pieces of Democratic shit, right? How they lie and cheat. They need to be held accountable. They do. They need to be held accountable. I'm going to give you a nice little story here. This is not bullshit. This is not a lie. The Republican Virginia lieutenant governor was on mainstream media. Her name is Winsome Sears, a woman, and a real black woman at that. She reported on mainstream media how many non-citizens were removed from the voter rolls before the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, sued the state to put these liars and cheaters back on the voter rolls, right? So Winsome Sears told Maria Bartiromo of Fox News that several thousand non-citizens were on the Virginia Commonwealth's voter rolls. Here's what she said. Quote, what we found, over 6,300 people who identified that they're not citizens, and yet they're on the voter rolls. We found people who have been dead since 1960 who were still on the voter rolls. Folks, that's Virginia. People who have been dead for 64 fucking years are still on the voter rolls. This is why the Biden-Harris Department of Justice, that's right, Kamala Harris and her piece of shit, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, are fighting so hard against the efforts to clean up not just Virginia, but all states. They're suing multiple states. Democrats, folks, they are anti-American. They're absolute scum. And as far as I'm concerned, they can burn in hell and they won't be missed or remembered fondly at all because of what they are. They are pure evil. Now, I guess they get off on lying and cheating and stealing and fucking people over. Well, that's what narcissists do. They get off on it. You know, getting over on people, fooling them, screwing them, stealing from them, lying to them. You, my friends, are honest and decent. And you don't get off on hurting other people, but Democrats do. That's who they are. Literally, that's who they are. That's what they do. Unbelievable, folks. Unfreaking believable. Let's see, we've got about 18 minutes left. Jolene says we got some more. John, shut up. We got some stuff to talk about. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? Holy cannolis. Holy cannolis. It's Cottage Farm back. And another $50 super chat. You know what that means, Cottage? That means I get another 15-year single malt Scotch whiskey from Glenlivet in Scotland, the home of Bob Hunter. Wonder where Bob has been. I hope he's fine. Anyways, here's to you. Here's to all. Here's to the red, white, and blue. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Semper Fi, and God bless America. Ooh, mother's milk, so good, so smooth. Wow. Nice. Cottage Farm says, anyone see the funny videos where the guys change out Trump Kamala signs for the other? Oh my gosh, both sides go nuts, but it's crazy scary to see how many Kamala voters are so over the top for that administration. Definitely enemies within our borders. This has been incredible to watch. I saw a Department of Transportation, can't remember what state, a DOT truck stops. The guy gets out of the truck, comes over to the Trump sign in the front yard, pulls it up and carries it off. Captured on Ring video. There's some people that have their entire yard. They'll have 100 Trump signs in the yard just to drive their neighbors nuts. A homeowners association, right, told a guy to take his Trump flag down, threatened him, said, we're going to fine you $50 a day. And he told them, go fuck yourselves. Number one, he's not paying their fine. Number two, he's not taking the signs, the flags, anything down. I myself have been dealing with some HOA bullshit with a friend, and I can't stand those fucking organizations. They think they're immune because they're on a board, an HOA board. Well, the HOA rules say I can violate people's property rights. Well, they can violate the sanctity of your home just as quickly. Not a threat, not a promise. I don't recommend anyone doing anything violent or bad, but hey, justice. Anyways, the other one is people who have put they've electrified their Trump sign in their yard. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing illegal there. But people come up and try and take them out of the ground and get zapped. And then they want to call the police. People put a Trump sign in their yard and they put a piece of wood with nails sticking up underneath it. Because people will drive up into the yards. If there's not a sidewalk, they'll drive into the yard and run them over. And they flatten their tires. I have seen at least one video where it was fake. Right? It was like a Trump supporter making a fake, but then saying, "Hey man, look at this, they flattened my tire." But I've seen the yard, the tire mark through the lawn, and board sitting there, and somebody about 50 yards, 100 yards down the road out there with the jack changing their tire. It's incredible, Cottage Farm, how whacked out of their fucking minds Democrats are. How whacked out of their minds Democrats are. I mean, it's incredible. They almost act like normal human beings until you ask them to think. One particular guy was interviewing some people on the street, and this blonde lady and her lesbian friend were standing there, and he says, "Well, let's talk about abortion." She's like, "You don't have any skin in the game. You're a man. You can't get an abortion." I would have right then said, "Well, how do you know I'm a man and you don't get to judge me, and guys can have babies, right?" But she says, "You don't have any skin in the game. Who are you to tell a woman to make a decision about any of this? Because it's not your deal." And he said, yeah, you're right. Well, tell me about Palestine and Gaza. And she started to tell him all kinds of things. Oh, genocide, bad. The Israelis are evil. And he was like, "Well, wait a minute. Are you Jewish?" And she was like, "No." He goes, "Well, you don't have any skin in the game." And she was taken aback. He says, "Yeah." He goes, "My mom's over in Israel. That's my family. That's my life. That's what matters to me. I have skin in the game. You don't. Who the fuck are you to have a moral stance on something where you don't have any skin in the game?" Well, she huffed and she puffed and she went and walked off. Yeah, they're whacked out of their mind. They think that they can make every moral decision and no one else can. Oh, yeah, they'll tell you. They'll send you to your death. They'll take all the money out of your account. They'll say, "Hey, you, right? We made some mistakes. We're taking your money." That's all fine, right? They'll come after you, tear your yard signs out. They'll threaten your kids in school. They'll try and cancel you, right? Try and ruin your life because they don't like you because they're fucking crazy, radical bastards. But you try and do anything, and they're like, "You can't do that. That's wrong." And who are you? Crazy business. Folks, share that internet address right up there. Make sure you've thumbs up. We're closing in on the end of the show, but we got lots to talk about. I mean, the amount of stuff that you guys have talked about has been great, but hey, I still have tons of stuff here. What do we want to discuss? Jolene, do we got another super chat out there? You guys have kept me busy the whole time, and it's my good friend, Mr. Skylight from the West Coast with a 1999 super chat donation. And he has great quotes. This time he's got Wolfgang von Goethe. Wolfgang von Goethe. I'm probably not saying it right. Had a couple of scotches here, getting a little tongue-tied. Anyways, that doesn't keep the prepared mind philosophy from flowing. Just every now and then getting from here and out the mouth a little tricky. Anyways, here's the great quote that Mr. Skylight has brought us this week. "You can build something beautiful even from the stones that are put in your way." Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. That's correct. People are going to put stones in your way, stumbling blocks, if we want to go biblical, I think, right? They'll put a stone in your path to cause you to fall. But you can take those stones, you can grow from them, learn from them, benefit from them, and yeah, you can build something beautiful, like a stone house or a stone wall, to keep illegals out. Beautiful quote, Mr. Skylight. Thank you so very much. And thank you again for the videos via email. I know I haven't been extremely communicative lately, man, but it's been busy as fuck. My weekend, which is normally I try and get a little relaxing in, has been a physical nightmare and challenge, right? It's like I'm almost happy about having to go back to work to get a break from the work on the weekends. And then once I get to the weekdays, I'll need a break from that and then I'll get the weekend. Anyways, crazy business. We're in a big trouble zone, folks. That's why I'm busy literally now 7 days a week, working 16 hours a day to get prepared because chance favors the prepared mind. Thank you, Mr. Skylight. And Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It is none other than College Farm again with another $50 super chat donation. And indeed, we have enough scotch to fulfill this one and probably a couple more. But I'm starting to feel it, feeling the love. Oh, man. This week is going to be wild and crazy, folks, as we get closer to the election and as the state of Florida continues to dig itself out and start to rebuild. First off, this shot, God bless America. Blessings to you, Cottage Farm, and your family, and to everyone else out there in our Prepared Mind family, which wants America to be free and strong and virtuous and a symbol to the world that liberty is best, that freedom is desired. Semper Fi. Wow. Very smooth. Now, Cottage Farm says Trump's event at McDonald's filled my heart with so much joy, but we all must hold him accountable. No CBDC, Bitcoin, no police state, no digital dystopia, etc. World Economic Forum, United Nations, no. It's up to us locally to get this crap out of our city planning commissions. I agree wholeheartedly. Now, Trump is our hope to get our country back. This is how I see it. Kamala guarantees our absolute destruction. Trump is our one hope in the White House. And that we get enough patriotic, make America great again, America first Republicans into Congress, which means the House and the Senate. We need enough pressure there. That's you and me. After the election, we're not done. Folks, we're not done. Cottage Farm, I know you know. You're very smart. We've talked personally on the phone. It's up to us to continue to call them, write them, type them, send messages on arrows, tying messages to fucking carrier pigeons, smoke signals if you have to, telling them it's not over. We don't want CBDC. We don't want FedCoin. We don't want a police state. We don't want Big Brother breathing down our necks. We don't want Big Bank fucking our lives up. No digital dystopia, meaning no social credit score. No more punishing people for having a belief system different than them, right? I don't go around and punish LGBTQ type people. I don't try getting them fired. I don't get into their family business. I don't follow them home and put shit in their yard and say nasty crap to them. I don't fuck with people's lives. I leave them the fuck alone. Hey, you want to get monkeypox? You go right ahead and get yourself monkeypox. Why should I care? That's your business. Leave children alone, though, fruitcakes. Stop grooming children. Log cabin Republicans, right? They put shit on their car light. It says, look, I'm gay, not retarded, not voting Kamala, right? But we need to hold Trump accountable. We need to hold Trump accountable. We need to hold Republicans accountable. We can't hold the Supreme Court of the United States accountable. No, we can't. We cannot do that. We can't hold the Supreme Court accountable. We have to hope and trust they do their job right. But don't worry, if Kamala wins, guess what? The woman who married her brother, the inbreeding Muslim Somali leftist communist piece of shit, Ilhan Omar, has stated that Democrats want to win and that they want to pack the United States Supreme Court with liberal justices as far as they can see. You know why? So they can always outvote Republicans, conservatives, Americans. And they can use the Supreme Court to trash this fucking country using the court system. I'm warning you. Democrats, believe them when they say they want the USA destroyed. And when it comes to Cottage Farm, Republicans, Trump, Vance, any of them, we have to hold them accountable. We need to get this crap not only out of the federal government, as Cottage Farm is saying, but also out of the state government. We need to tell the state governments not to shut off. And our local city hall, planning commissions, school boards, we all have to become extremely hyper vigilant and be active to protect our kids, protect our cities. The police need to be given instructions. You, police, not only are authorized, but you're commanded to get the scum out of here. I had this conversation today earlier. Why is it there's police? They know where the drugs are. They know where the criminals are. Why don't they go arrest them? Well, the answer is because they don't have to. They don't have to. They don't have to. The police chief doesn't tell them to do it. The city council doesn't instruct them. The mayor doesn't instruct them. They just leave the crime to continue. The prostitution, the drugs, they need to do their fucking jobs. Instead of saying, yeah, you know, it's okay. They're from another country or another culture, or, hey, they're poor, so let them be that way. No, fuck that, right? We need to get all this crap out of our schools, out of our cities, out of our counties, out of our states, out of our country. Cottage Farm, this is not going to be solved in Trump's 4 years. It's not going to be solved in Trump's 4 years. If I live to be 80, whoever thought of John becoming 80 fucking years old? If I live to be 80, I hope to see this country cleaned up, set straight, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence in every school classroom on the wall. And it should be, folks. The U.S. Constitution should be on every classroom, on every school wall, in every state, territory, fort, arsenal, dockyard, everywhere. The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Even if children can't read it, it should be there. So they know, they go, oh yeah, Constitution, that's been around since I was a kid. Also the 10 Commandments. I think the flag, and only the American flag, and if you wish, the state flag, should be up in a school, but no non-governmental organization, no fruitcake flags should be on the walls in school. And I actually believe the Pledge of Allegiance should be said. And I don't think that school prayer is a bad idea, because this country has gone downhill ever since they removed school prayer. And the idea behind that is not to make people Christian. It's not to create some sort of religious super state. But here's what I have to say. And you can consider it, and you can discard it. You can discount it, you can piss it away. But at least let me say it. When you hear that there's prayer, you know someone's talking to the Almighty. Whether you believe in it or not, whether you're agnostic or atheist, it doesn't matter. But people know that they can be held accountable to a higher source. We all need to see that for ourselves if it's within us. And if it's not, know that everyone else knows that and thinks it. Meaning we need to be a moral nation. Look what immorality has gotten us. Right? We've got lunatics running the fucking asylum. You've got kids shitting on the floor in schools because they think they're cats and dogs. You've got teachers trying to groom and turn children into their sex toys. They're immoral. You've got school boards who won't stop it. They allow homosexual pornography and pedophilia into schools. Tell me that that's a moral group. They're not. So we need to get all of that crap out of our city, and it starts by us becoming real Americans again. And that message, that thought, that concept is why I chose the American flag here as a backdrop for this show, for this Sunday Night Live. Cottage Farm, thank you for lighting me up here. and also here, because I'm really kind of feeling it now and I'm trying to keep myself on track. We're at the 2-hour mark. This is usually when I get a little tipsy, a little dizzy, a little goofy and weird, but the message coming out of here is always the same. Get prepared, because chance favors the prepared mind. Cottage Farm, it's great to have you back. A great surprise, an incredible surprise. And let's go. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It's Dan the Man Erickson. And he says, that $500 super chat last Sunday by Darcy, you had one drink. You owe her at least one right now. Did I not take a drink from that? I guess is what I'm being told. I can't remember. I was just so flabbergasted that she did that. Her generosity, your generosity, everyone's generosity has been fabulous. It has kept the Prepared Mind Network alive, going. And I think you're right, Mr. Dan. I could probably do one more, especially since I know we're at the end of the show. Oh no. Wait a minute. Jolene, Ooman. Oh, by the way, Ooman's in the background. I just poured one. This is for, okay, Dan, this one is for Darcy T last week, and I want to remind everyone her generosity has been great. John N, you know who you are. There are many, many of you out there who are behind the scenes supportive of the show and what I do. And tomorrow morning, speaking of John N, I'm going to need lots of cafefe.com coffee, because I'm a deplorable guy. And I am now with these next, because Dan said I need to have this one. This is going to push me over the edge. It's going to give me one hell of a headache, but I got the bottle in one hand. You guys are awesome. I want to thank you. And yeah, it's been another great show. This week is going to be wild and crazy, and I'm expecting violence at any time to break out, because the Democrats are losing. Their street scum are getting mad and desperate. And look out. Bottoms up. And here's to you, Darcy T, from last week also. It's like mother's milk. And I know I'm in big trouble, Dan. Thank you, sir, very much. And again, I'm glad that you took such good care and have been such a good prepper. Jolene, I think I saw that Blue Core Devil checked in. And yes, another $50 super chat, which keeps the lights on, which will restock the Prepared Mind pantry with Spam, tuna fish, another bottle of scotch, because this one's getting pretty thin. And just a big wow. This one right here is the one Blue Core Devil is buying. Good golly, he says, let's have a drink for a salute. I don't know what that symbol means. What does that symbol mean? I don't know what that symbol means. Anyways, let's have a toast for all our brothers and sisters that are stuck in blue states. A prayer, a toast, a shot, a salute. Hope y'all are doing good and are safe. And also Cottage Farm. Blue Cord Devil, thank you very much as well. And yeah, there are people still missing by I believe the thousands up in the Carolinas and Tennessee. Billions of dollars in damage. People have lost their homes, their lives. People like you are putting your lives, your families, and your fortunes on the line by supporting Trump and opposing evil. That's the best way to put it. Evil, opposing evil. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil. Blessings to you, man. Here we go. I'm in big trouble. So good. Folks, single malt scotch, whether my favorite two scotches are Glenlivet and Glenfiddich. I'm a fan of Lafrogue and Glenfarclas and a lot of others. I won't pay for Macallan. It's just overpriced for what you get. But, a good Scotch whiskey, it humbles me. But I'll tell you what. Oh, shoot, I lost my train of thought. No, I lost it again. Holy cow. This is not a Joe Biden moment. This is a Scotch moment. It's a Scotch moment. Thank your lucky stars. Thank God that we live in such a great country and that people here are so good that they'll take care of each other, look out for each other, and get prepared. For you can't help anyone else unless you yourself are prepared first. You are. Anyways, Jolene says we got another super chat out there. Let's do that. I wonder what we're going to be talking about. Thank you, Blue Cord Devil. And holy cow. Holy cow. Speaking of John N., $100 super chat donation. And he says, looking great, John. Glad you're okay with the hurricanes and such. I loved Trump at McDonald's. God bless. I tell you what, man. Thank you. These are the guys that are going to save me tomorrow morning. www.cafefe.com. That is patriotic coffee. It is delicious coffee. You can get it pre-done in K-cups. And I'm almost out of those JC 1701. John, I'm almost out of those, but I still have some bags, and I can make my own K-cups as well. But there is the internet address. I think if you have, is there, Jolene, is there a discount code for Prepared Mind people and Cafefe or not? Anyways, they're a very patriotic folks, and oh my goodness, $100 is going to buy a shot plus. El Scotcherino, John, Semper Fi, brother. Thank you again for taking such good care of us here at the Prepared Mind in the bunker. Now I remember what I was going to say. This is the only show I know of in the entire world of the internet where you guys direct the show front to back, Sunday Night Live. You guys support the channel, guerrilla style. And it's the only show on the entire world that I know where you guys buy me shots of whiskey. And I get to sit here and enjoy myself, enjoy things with you, share, commiserate, and help educate each other and the world. And that is about as eloquent as I can get. Because I'll tell you what, I think I've said it in the past, right?
John, if you're still talking, you're frozen. So you may want to pop off and on again real quick. Okay, folks, John is telling us his power just went out. So I'm going to check in with him here real quick and see if he's going to try to get back on or if he's got to call it. Okay, I just sent him a message. And we're waiting to hear back. All right. John is saying, yeah, it has not come back. It wasn't just a flicker. Tell everybody peace, love, and prep. And remember, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Sorry that ended so abruptly, but I think we got all the super chats in, and we'll see some of you guys tomorrow at Subscribe Star or at the club. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next Sunday at the zoo. Be good.